Have you ever stopped to think about the invisible forces that govern our world? We go about our days, scrolling on our phones, navigating with GPS, streaming our favorite shows, all of it powered by a complex, interconnected web of technology. We trust it implicitly. But what if I told you that this entire digital civilization could be brought to its knees in an instant? Not by a terrestrial threat, but by a silent, invisible storm from 93 million miles away. This isn't science fiction. This is the very real threat of solar storms. Just imagine, a massive, superheated cloud of plasma, billions of tons of it, hurled from the surface of the sun at speeds of millions of miles per hour. We call these coronal mass ejections, or CMEs. Most of them miss us, sailing harmlessly into the cosmic void. But when one is aimed directly at Earth, it's like a planetary-scale EMP blast. You might have heard whispers of it. The solar events of early 2025 caught everyone by surprise. Scientists knew we were heading into a solar maximum, the peak of the sun's 11-year cycle. But the intensity of the flares, the sheer power of the CMEs, was off the charts. We saw stunning auroras, the northern and southern lights, dipping down to latitudes they hadn't reached in centuries. Beautiful, yes, but also a chilling warning. Satellites experienced glitches, GPS signals wavered, and some radio communications briefly went dark. We dodged a bullet. Those were just warning shots. This raises a profound and unsettling question. What if these celestial events reach deeper than our satellites and power grids? What if the very fabric of our reality is more connected to these cosmic tempests than we ever dared to imagine? To understand the danger, we have to look back in time. The year is 1859. The telegraph is the pinnacle of high-tech communication. In early September, astronomers across the globe, including a man named Richard Carrington, observed an intensely bright solar flare, a white light flare, something so powerful it was visible to the naked eye. What followed was chaos. Within 18 hours, the CME from that flare slammed into Earth. Telegraph systems worldwide went haywire. Sparks literally flew from the equipment, shocking operators. Some telegraph pylons burst into flames. The aurora borealis was so bright that people in the Rocky Mountains woke up in the middle of the night, thinking it was dawn. Gold miners started making breakfast. People in Missouri could read a newspaper by the eerie, colorful light. This event, now known as the Carrington Event, was the largest geomagnetic storm on record. Now let's pause and think about that. In 1859, our technology was limited to copper wires. What would a Carrington-level event do to our world today? It would be, in a word, catastrophic. The first casualty would be our power grids. The massive surge of geomagnetic energy would induce powerful currents in our long transmission lines, overwhelming transformers. Not just one or two, but potentially hundreds, even thousands, across entire continents. These aren't like household fuses you can just flip back on. Large transformers are custom-built, weigh hundreds of tons, and can take months, if not years, to replace. Imagine widespread, prolonged blackouts. Not for hours or days, but for weeks, months, or even longer. Without electricity, our modern world grinds to a halt. The lights go out, obviously. But so does refrigeration. Food in supermarkets and our homes would spoil within days. Clean water would stop flowing as municipal pumps fail. Sanitation systems would break down, leading to a risk of disease. Communication would be gone. No internet. No cell phones. Even landlines would fail. Our entire financial system, which is now almost purely digital, would freeze. No credit cards, no ATMs, no access to your bank account. The global supply chain, which relies on just-in-time delivery coordinated by digital logistics, would collapse. Gas stations couldn't pump fuel. Hospitals would run on backup generators, but only for a limited time. After that, life-saving medical equipment would become useless. It's a domino effect, a cascade of failures where each system's collapse triggers the next. In a matter of weeks, our 21st century society could be thrown back to a 19th century existence, but without the skills and infrastructure our ancestors had to survive. So, are we just sitting ducks? Not entirely. Agencies like NASA and NOAA have a fleet of satellites like the Solar and Heliospheric Observatory, SOHO, and the Discover satellite that act as our early warning system. They monitor the sun 24/7. When they spot a potentially hazardous CME heading our way, we could have anywhere from 15 to 60 hours of warning before it hits. That doesn't sound like much time, but it's crucial. It would allow power grid operators to take preventative measures, like strategically shutting down parts of the grid or disconnecting sensitive transformers to protect them from the surge. It would give satellite operators time to put their spacecraft into a safe mode. It would give us, the public, time to prepare, get water, food, and essential supplies. But here's the unsettling part. Our prediction models are still imperfect. The sun is a notoriously unpredictable star. As we saw in 2025, flares can erupt with unexpected ferocity. A storm could be faster, denser, and have a more potent magnetic orientation than we forecasted. Our warning might be too short, or we might underestimate the impact. We are constantly learning, but we are in a race against a cosmic clock. And this brings us back to that deeper question. We've talked about the physical impact, the technological collapse, but what about the impact on us? On a biological, even a consciousness level? This is where things get really fascinating, moving from established science into the realm of compelling speculation and emerging research. For centuries, ancient cultures have associated the sun with life, consciousness, and divinity. They didn't have magnetometers, but they observed its cycles and believed they were connected to cycles on Earth, cycles within humanity itself. Modern science is starting to catch up to this ancient wisdom, albeit in its own way. The field of chronobiology studies how living organisms are affected by solar and lunar cycles. We know our circadian rhythm, our internal body clock, is synced to the light-dark cycle of the sun. But could it be more? Some researchers are investigating potential links between geomagnetic activity and human health. Studies have explored correlations between solar storms and increases in heart attacks, strokes, and even psychiatric episodes. The theory is that the human body, with its own complex bioelectric system, our heart and brain run on electrical impulses, could be sensitive to fluctuations in the Earth's magnetic field. When a solar storm rattles our planet's magnetic cage, is it possible it rattles our internal systems too? Now let's take one more step into the unknown. What if these powerful energies from the sun don't just affect our physical bodies, but our consciousness itself? Think about the energy. The sun isn't just throwing out plasma, it's bathing us in a spectrum of light, radiation, and information. During a major solar event, the energetic information our planet receives changes dramatically. Could this be a catalyst for change? Some spiritual thinkers and futurists propose that these intense solar influxes are a kind of cosmic upgrade. They suggest that this energy can trigger shifts in human consciousness, leading to periods of great turmoil, but also immense creative and spiritual awakening. It sounds far out, but think of it like this. Stress on a system often forces adaptation and evolution. A solar storm is a massive stressor on the Earth's system, and we are part of that system. Could the social and political upheaval we see around the world be, in some small unseen way, amplified by the turbulent energy of our own star? Could our increasing creativity and technological acceleration also be part of this cosmic dance? It's a radical idea, but it forces us to see ourselves not as separate from the cosmos, but as intrinsically part of it. We are, after all, made of stardust, powered by a star. It's not illogical to think we might be influenced by its moods. So, where does this leave us? On one hand, we have the stark, pragmatic reality. A major solar storm poses one of the single greatest threats to our modern way of life. We need to invest more in predicting space weather, hardening our power grids, and creating contingency plans. Our survival depends on it. On the other hand, we have this profound, almost mystical perspective. These events remind us that we are part of a vast, interconnected cosmic web. They challenge our illusion of control and invite us to consider our place in the universe in a much deeper way. Perhaps these invisible storms from above are not just a threat, but also a message, a wake-up call from the heart of our solar system. A reminder that our technology is fragile, but our connection to the cosmos is fundamental and unbreakable. What do you think? Is this all just a physical phenomenon, or is there something more happening? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this journey from technology to consciousness fascinating, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more deep dives into the mysteries of our world. Stay curious, stay aware, and as always, keep looking up.